we're back, folks. Welcome to another episode of Mind Brain Movies. I'm your Sherpa into the Mind Brain Hope. And we're back for this back to back episode of Husbando versus Waifu versus everyone versus Liz judges our choices.
In
and
a good way, in a good kind of way.
Judging in a kind way. Okay.
Yeah.
yes, we have Dr. Gremlin Liz over here judging the choices today.
Hello.
And then we have Booney over here who is just given all the green flags all the time.
Oh, for real? No. I actually have a joke that if you're interested in me, you have mommy issues and you're traumatized in some way.
I mean, if you're interested in me, then there's something wrong with you because it's easier to list what's not wrong with me.
Oh,
So,
sure. Stop it.
no,
Okay.
like
So
if we're just talking about neurologically and like
Oh,
chemically speaking, then yes.
I was actually thinking you're like Mr. Burns. You have all the diseases and like they're in
Yes.
homeostasis.
Exactly. They just extract it from me whenever they need to cure something. Like, yes. Excellent. Excellent. But we're not talking about men and Mr. Burns. We're talking about our waifus this time. Last episode we did husbandos, and then today we're doing waifus. And if you didn't see the husbando episode, you can still watch this definitely, but go back and check out the husbandos because we did some really good choices. But I'm actually super excited about our waifus because apparently this is like all where we're all projecting like our greatest. Like I personally did not struggle whatsoever for waifus, but I like had to think
Ooh.
for husbandos for like over a week. So
I had my husbandos right off the bat. I knew who I wanted to talk about, but once I started thinking about the waifus, I was like, oh dang, like the list just kept going, and then I was like, oh, now I actually haven't chosen yet, like the two people I'm gonna talk about. So
oh my
wish me
gosh.
luck.
So should we have Booney start out our session today then?
No, 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 I'll do it. I'll do it. Hold on.
I haven't decided, but I'll do it. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, no, I think I've kind of had already like decided these. Um, I'm gonna talk about my favorite one.
Your favorite one. Okay.
I think I'm gonna mispronounce. I am so sorry. Wait, no, 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 no. I'm gonna start with the whole like backstory and stuff.
The backstory. Okay.
Relatively new anime. It is so good. Highly recommended. Very likely you guys have seen it already. If not, what is wrong with you? You should watch this ASAP. Um, Oh my gosh, my ADHD brain is like not with it today. Like you guys were talking and my brain was like quip, 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 quip as to what you were saying, and now I'm like no thoughts. Zero thoughts in my head. Great. Okay. So this waifu, I think she is hilarious. She does not take any crap from people. She is very straightforward. She knows what she wants. She's very passionate about what she does. Done it since she was wee little tiny baby, and
Hmm.
she can be a little bit uh like not in reality, I guess, because she's so focused on the things that she likes doing. She's very passionate about that. She finds herself in situations where she really doesn't want to be there, but she acts because she wants to help people anyway, even though it would be a lot easier for her if she didn't do anything and just sort of like kept her head down and whatever. And she's just kind of like minding her own business, walking her own road, and people just but again, she's very kind and loving, and she's hilarious, but she has no time for like your shenanigans. So if you're trying to like embroil her in shenanigans, she's like, girl, no, no, I'm taking no part of that. And she's very much aware of like social standing and what is supposed to be happening and what she's supposed to do. But in her head, she's like, I just doing this to cruise through life and not call attention to myself. But otherwise, she has a very much um, deeper understanding of what is truly valuable in life.
Okay.
So I am talking about Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries. Have you guys seen it?
Mm, I have not fully watched it. I've seen like clips here and there, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Once again, what is wrong with you? Add it to your list ASAP. It is
I
she's like
can't
just so
binge like
cute
you.
and adorable, and I just love her interactions with other people because again she's very like much like no nonsense kind of thing, but she is kind of like she is kind of how I picture myself being. Where like especially like in this podcast, because like sometimes Hope says something and I'm like, I just want to annoy Hope because it's just I just have this urge to like just be annoying because it's so funny when she gets mad.
Dr. Gremlin at her gremlinness.
So like that's why I love Mao Mao, because she's kind of like that sometimes. She's just kind of like, like I just like she has like this like, yeah, I'm gonna like have these evil plans, but they're not like really like evil plans or anything like that. It's just she's just so like wholesome and cute and funny. And so like I think she would be a great a waifu material. Lots of green flags there. It's just she is a little bit dense, kind of like me, when it comes to sort of like knowing where people are flirting with her and like are interested in her and like sort of like treat her differently. Again, because she's so focused on like living her own life and whatever, that it's kind of hard for her to know that, and not also not really interested in it. So I was just like me. So but then see, one of the things that I told you guys is that when I chose like the waifus, I'm like, they have a lot of green flags. I think they would be great waifu materials, but I think it's it part of me was like, I don't know if I chosen the correct waifu for me, because we're just so similar, and then like there would be no relationship because both of us would be like not interested in like forming a romantic relationship or whatever, or like not aware that the other one is like flirting or interested. So it's, I don't know how that will work out, but in general she is great and I love her so much, and I would just like want to hang out with her all the time because she's cool.
She's cool.
Because she's cool. That's all you need to know. She's cool, so watch the watch the anime. You'll soon realize she is cool, and you come to love her just as I love her.
Fair enough. And where's the Apothecary Diaries? Is that on
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Cuz I feel like I was like at actually I think I was actually at like a restaurant and they were playing it and they had like Netflix on the background. So I think yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. It's a really good show.
Okay. That is
Yeah.
settled. That was very short
What
and
do
to the
you rate
point.
her?
So I would go. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I always rate slightly higher because I have hope in humanity. So I'm gonna go with like a 9, only because she is sort of like not ready to be in a relationship, so she's not aware of sort of like those for her own personal, you know,
Mm.
relationships, because she is aware of like other people flirting and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a 9. Otherwise, like she has like a lot of and I think she's still like really really young, because it's one of those anime like where it's like back in the day, so people are like really young but they have like, they're like 17 but they're like the general of the army or whatever, because people didn't live that long
Mhm.
back in the day, because the past was the worst. But
The best.
but yeah, that's yeah, I'll give her like a 9. Yeah, she's just so very
Okay.
entertaining, and I think sometimes you just need to have that no nonsense attitude. You know why? Because I hate when flirting, like the strategies that most girls go to, we're like, oh, stop that, I don't like that, and I'm like, oh, or like or like the hard like don't respond to text after like 3 days or something. I'm like, that's dumb. No, no, I ain't nobody got time to playing games. Like we said in the last episode, if you like me or you like somebody, like oh my gosh, something's happening on my computer. Anyway,
Well, it's
if you're
not
interested,
effective.
something popped up like a whole new window. um
It
if
was an
you
application coming up. It was your first application for Husbandos.
Submit.
it's if you're interested in someone, just flat out say it. Hey, I think you're cute, I think you're good looking, we should do something. What is this whole like back and forth sort of like flirting? No, 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 waste of time. Just freaking say
Mhm.
it. If the person's interested, they'll let you know right away. If they're not, be like, hey, you willing, you open to me, continue to try and convince you otherwise, otherwise move on to another person.
Mhm.
Yeah, fair enough.
I say like it's so easy. Yes, do that.
Yes, because everyone's that confident.
You know what? You should be. You should be confident
Oh
because
no,
the
everyone
the the
should be
worst.
confident, but it doesn't mean that they are though.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me out like this?
Ooh.
Why are you just sort of like pointing things out about my life?
I was not, but if you want
Wow.
to self-actualize and self-reflect, that is on you, madam.
You know how last episode I was I was like, listen to the red flags and boundaries or whatever, and now I'm like, don't listen to any of that because it applies to me. I don't want to do any of the hard work.
Only when it doesn't apply to me, listen.
Yes. Or like, no, 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 listen to my advice because it applies to you, but if it also applies to me, just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly, exactly. Anyway, yeah. So that's my waifu. What did you guys think? Well,
I mean, it definitely fits you. I feel like if the like little mischievous side and everything, but very like open and knowledgeable. So I think that it's more like fits you for sure.
I think I just chose someone that I was like, oh, she's like me for real, instead of
Yeah,
like a waifu.
exactly. But if as long as you have a good basis, even if you are similar, that's good to be.
Mhm.
It's not always opposites attract. Like I'm,
True, true.
like
Yeah.
you have to have some common basis in order to have a relationship. I don't care who says what. Like there has to be some sort of commonality.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. All right, now I'm really excited to hear about your waifus.
Yeah, bunny.
Okay. So my first waifu. Shoot. I made presentation. I'm gonna show it later. I'm gonna link it. Um.
You should make your own like little mini
Stream,
video.
dude, on
Like we could do,
stream.
or we could do like a Patreon only of just these presentations.
So I don't know if anyone's ever seen Lucifer, the live action
Yes.
show.
Oh my god,
Yes.
so sexy.
So my first waifu is Mazikeen or
Also
Maze.
sexy.
She is a demon, and she's like Lucifer's right hand demon. She's extremely loyal. Um, but based on in the beginning of the show, she and Lucifer are very what do you call it? What's it like when you live out things based on like the sensory only, like pleasure seeking?
Oh, just yeah. Like I know what you're saying.
Like
I can't. I
hedonistic? Is that what it's
Yes,
called?
that's hedonist type of individuals,
hedonistic. There we
and
go.
it's
Hedonistic spot.
so it's like this balance for me because I don't live that way and I would want to. So I'd want someone to help bridge the again. This is like the difference of yours. It's the opposite kind of where
Mm.
someone to bridge the gap of
Mm.
seeking what's in the middle. And so Lucifer, he owns a nightclub.
Yes.
Satan owns a nightclub, and um
Okay.
she goes clubbing. She has like, I love wearing black, and so she'd like be my bestie and we could share clothes and go shopping together. She has great fashion sense, like I love what she wears. I love her makeup. I love her hair. I love everything about her. Like she's perfect. And I would just like want to be twinsies with her sometimes. It'd be cute, I think, and sometimes I could be the pink to balance her black too. Um,
Hmm.
and she has this so she is like a master of knives and blades, and so whenever someone is in danger, she will it's like a little bit of a comedy too, where she'll jump out of nowhere, like out of camera frame, and jump on someone and like pummel them. People don't know that she's around. All of a sudden she's like ninja. She's
Right.
there to protect and save people. And so she's highly, highly loyal and protective. It's like innate, ingrained in her to do that, right? And so her programming is kind of limited in a certain way when you start to get to know her. She has no other role in life. Like, that's just, she's a demon. She doesn't really have a birth or anything like that. And so she's like kind of traumatized in that way. It's like, I don't have an origin. I don't know where I come from. And so she just follows that agenda because that's what they made her for, to protect and be loyal, to protect Lucifer. And so the funny thing is, like, she hides weapons around the house. There's like blades everywhere, underneath the table. There's like knives and daggers. And so if anything does happen, which is like in a couple of the episodes, I thought it was like so ingenious. And so I like in my head, before I was on a certain path in psychology, I wanted to be a spy because people, I think, underestimate a quiet person. They underestimate small people. I'm small and quiet and super observant. And I think I would make really good in intel. So it was a path I wanted to take seriously for a while. And so, like, side note, I was mentored by a retired psychologist, and she was totally into it, and she supported me too. I was either going to do like CIA, and so I really researched that to see if I could do it, because, fun fact, the people that they hire to do that kind of stuff probably have a high history of association and trauma, which is why I was so drawn to things with like sleeper agents and people who would like have a keyword and you'd wake up from your trance and you'd find like automatically be some type of like assassin or something. So like it's something that has been resonated with me in the past, but because of like some integration, I don't associate as much. So I can't be a spy anymore. Too bad. I have to heal, like, so that was just a fun fact about me. So like
Yeah, me too. I
yeah.
too have interesting stories about my past I would like to tell.
Yeah.
Last episode, Hope was like, yeah, so I was trained by this like master ninja dude. And then Boone is like, yeah, I was gonna be a spy. And I'm like, I, I too have a cool life. You guys don't know about. Wait. But I have no cool stories in my life. So I'm gonna tell you about a cool story about someone else's life.
About someone else's life.
Yeah. No, did you guys know? Did you guys know that the voice actress for Naruto, like the English one, like her dad was like a spy, like a legit spy,
Really?
and like
Oh.
she didn't know.
Which character?
Naruto, like the
Really?
main character. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Like
I know that.
I heard like a podcast, and she was telling the story, and it's like such a good story.
What?
Yeah,
That's
like there
crazy.
being a phone in their house where like just it was only for dad to use, and they moved all over the place, and there were like a lot of sus things happening, but it was just like normal in her household, and she never questioned it until
Is that
dad
really?
retired, and he said like, I'm a spy. And the kids were like,
Nice.
Oh my
what?
gosh.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's so
Crazy.
cool. Yeah, so I too have cool stories to
That is cool. The interesting about being a spy, though, is like you can be a successful spy when you really embody you have nothing to lose. But once you start to love people or have relationships like a
Mhm.
family, even though it's like a cover, that's where you start breaking as a spy. You can't do it anymore. You're not as reliable because people can, you know, what is it?
Take advantage of it, and they use
Exactly.
it.
Leverage
Yeah.
against you. Yeah.
That's the whole thing with like
Spy X Family.
superheroes and stuff, how they have that like secret identity, because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if they knew
Yeah.
my real identity,
And other people are like, but why didn't you tell me? I'm like, bitch, you're gonna die.
right. You want to be tortured? Cool,
No,
okay.
if you love me, you tell me. Like, man, you do not want to get tortured. Come on.
Right. You want to be
I
completely in the dark.
Bro, I think I would be like the perfect wife for a spy, because I would not freaking notice. He'll be like, look shiny over here, and I'll be like, yes.
And you're like, oh, my
ADHD be
husband's
like,
gone.
anime now. Okay.
He turns it on.
Like I could just see you like he'll go out and you'll just be like, he's been gone 10 hours. Bring home the chips, by the way, please. Thanks.
Don't forget. 2 a.m. I'm still been watching. He just came home all bloody and he's like, look, chocolate. And I'll be like, yay, thanks. Back to watching. Okay. No, but we're talking about waifus, okay? Not husbandos. Husbandos was the other video, and if you guys haven't seen it, go watch
Go
it.
check it out.
Yeah. Um
Oh gosh.
Wait, yes. Okay, I love this. She is an amazing character. I think I just haven't seen the last season of it. But yeah, it is a great show. I love it.
Yeah.
But she has a really good sort of I guess character development
Yes, she grows a
later
lot.
on. She
Hmm.
Yeah.
does. She does grow a lot, and I just love the fact that she's very much like no nonsense kind of thing, but she's still so cute about it. Like it's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
It's just so adorable. Just the way that she is, like being herself, is just and
yeah.
yeah, it's
Cause
just
she's
so
like a
cute.
puppy. She seeks to like have Lucifer's approval, and then like he starts like
Mhm,
ignoring her, not needing her, and so like she's a lost puppy. She wants to have meaning and
mhm,
purpose, like because that was she was like made for, and then it's so sad. But I love that she can figure it out. Like, no, you know what? This is my life. I can figure out a way to have purpose, meaning, and connection. So she's like starts having this like love, right? Affinity for Trixie. She's like the spawnling, the child, but
mhm,
she doesn't
mhm,
usually doesn't like children. Like I feel a similar way towards children and not. Like I love children, but like the concept of children. I love the ability to raise and nurture at the same time. Some kids are like, get away from me. I don't really want to deal with you right now. But
It's
like,
one of those things like if it was yours, it's different, but it's
mhm.
somebody else's, it's like, go away.
Yeah.
mhm,
But sometimes I try to embody like the collective, it's important to me. So she does that where she can nurture and protect. And she's like, again, that spy nature kicks in, the assassin kicks in, where she can protect you and watch you from afar while she knows that you need to do your own thing, live your life. But if like shit goes down, she's got blades, she's ready to cut a bitch. And she's so
Yeah.
sacrificing, and she does learn to be invulnerable. So I know like some of the episodes she starts asking like the psychologist for information on empathy and emotions, like what is this thing that she's going through, right? And so she has to learn how to feel for the first time when she's lived like I don't know how many eons as a demon, just straight like something's forced
Yeah.
to kill. And so it's this like ability to be rebirth that I think is so admirable, because I think all of us have multiple deaths in our life where it's like ego death, psychic death, and you have to be able to build yourself back up and grow. And she's able to do that. And so I love that she was doing that. And also, she's able to take in the criticism of others, because that's the hardest thing to do. You care about someone, but if they're not honest about you as a person, how much do they actually care? They're protecting themselves
Yeah.
from having uncomfortable conversations. And so I think that, again, her character is able to do that in a realistic way. Like it's hard to do that. And I think that sometimes we don't show that on TV. We don't show that people can have these hard things, because relationships are supposed to be idealized on TV as escape. So it's nice to
Mhm.
see that. And they see it in certain characters as well. Like she's hard, but she's also very soft. And so I appreciate that. And I would also want, again, when you talked about relationships with waifus and husbandos, I was actually thinking about like my lens of the world is very dystopic. And so I went towards that. If I had to fight at the end of the world and survive, I'd want someone to literally be my protector and lover. And that's what I would want.
Mhm.
So I would give her, actually, realistically though, a 6 out of 10, because she's chaotic.
but that's in my head. I'm like, but that's what makes her kind of fun to be
Right.
around because you never know what she's gonna come up with. But I guess having to deal with that can get old after a while, like if
Mm,
she doesn't sort of like grow out of it.
yeah.
So yeah,
Because you do
I
want
can see
some
that.
stability, like
Mhm. Mhm.
eventually, like
Hmm.
it's all fun and games that like when it comes down to it in the long run, like you do need like a form of stability.
Mhm.
Like it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be bland and boring, but it needs to be stable.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I just love her interactions with like the kids. because she's like trying to teach the kids all these weird things that kids should not be learning. It's so
Yes.
funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't teach
Okay,
kids how to use knives, you guys, to
or
hurt other people.
do. I
Or
mean,
maybe
I
do.
was taught how to use knives in martial arts.
I was thinking that. I was like, maybe for defense?
Oh, we had bows and arrows in the backyard and little like pellet guns and
Yeah, I was about to say I had knives, I had fans, I had bow staves, I have broadswords, I have
How come we haven't seen any of the cool stuff? Also, I had cool stuff too.
man, all I
Well,
wanted was a telescope, really.
that would be so cool.
I know.
I just had a lot of books and Barbies.
I wanted
I had
books.
Legos and martial arts stuff.
Nice.
Wait, Hope, what's your waifu?
Okay, so
Waifus.
my first waifu actually is going to also be like a live action character as well. Um and I feel like it also she's kind of like me in a lot of ways. Like I felt her growing journey
Hmm.
as you see her growing throughout the show. It was kind of like me in a lot of ways. I'm not as extreme as this person in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of similarities. I wanted to pick April Ludgate from Parks and Rec.
Oh.
Um, I adore Aubrey Plaza, but like that character specifically, like I thought of myself back like when in the first like one or two seasons how she's like 19, 20, 21, and I was like thinking back to like when I was that age as well. Like, yeah, I was like, fuck this, I'm goth, screw you, meh, like, and I it's and but just to see her journey as well of growing, learning to love somebody, like how she fell for Andy and she wholeheartedly did that, how she didn't really like anybody, but then she made like such close connections and relationships.
Hmm.
um my one of my favorite things is she is a big animal lover. That's like a 10 out of 10 in my book. If you're a big animal lover, then you've got me. And that was her big thing. How she adopted Champion, the three-legged dog, and she started her own animal shelter in Pawnee. That was like her big project, was like getting dog parks and like animal shelters. And I was like, ugh, girl after my own heart there. And because like that's a huge big thing for me is
I love the fact that she was very unapologetic about who she was.
yes.
I love that, yeah.
And that's the thing too, she was just like very in your face about it, and she's very blunt about things, and I tend to
Mm-hmm.
be very blunt about things as well. Like I don't beat around the bush unless I know like I know it's like gotten me in trouble sometimes how blunt I can be, because they're like, that's like really like crazy. I'm like, well, it needed to be said. uh you know um but not only that, but just like the little quirks. Like she loves Halloween, I love Halloween. She loves horror, I love horror. She loves the animals, I love animals. So like just like core values, like because that's what I look for, is like core values. Like we don't have to have everything completely in line, but we do have these like base core values that I love and we can grow with. And the fact that she is like super loyal to those like once, because like I can be like, what people don't know is like, yes, I'm very like outgoing and I like tend to like try and make friends with people, but like I put everyone at like a barrier, you know but it and like I'm nice to everybody, but I'm not like friends with them. Like I have a lot of acquaintances, but until like you're my friend, I a lot of the times I just like bypass. If you're like with me, you bypass the friend stage, and I'm like, you're my family, because I don't like you two. You're like my family, and because I don't know, like friends just seems like very. Is it weird to say like friends seems very like on the surface for me? Like if I want you in my life, I want you to be more than just that, whether it's in a relationship or like a deep friendship. Like, And that's how April was. Like, she didn't really care about too many other people, but the ones she cared about, she like all consumed. Like, she was like, yes, you are my person now. Like Andy, she was like, yes, you are my whole person. Like Leslie, who she loved and respected, she's like, I don't respect anybody, but I respect you, and I
Mm.
wholeheartedly love you. And that's kind of how
And
I
Ron,
am.
and her relationship with Ron, like, that was like the
I
best. I feel
know.
like.
It's so good. Like, I just always think of like when they went to the food and stuff, and he bought like hamburger meat and buns, and she's like, I want these crows.
Oh,
And then she just sets
that's
him down.
my
I'm like,
favorite.
that I was like, that would be something I would do at a grocery store. Like, I'd get like food and then crows. Like,
Yes, yes.
but I mean, all in all, like, I'd say she's probably like an 8 out of 10, because she can be a little too much sometimes, and she can have issues with like communication. Whereas, like, I get it, not everyone's like a great communicator. I've had to learn my communication techniques throughout therapy and throughout life. So but I think if she worked on those communication techniques and everything, she would like vastly go up. But yeah, that's her. But she's so cute, and we would retire and grow old and have like an animal farm and just like
Aw.
save all the babies,
Yeah.
all the champions of the world.
I love that. She is very, very similar to you. Did you also think maybe you chose her as she's like me for real, or like a waifu material?
I think a little column A, little column B,
Mhm.
Mm.
because she has that government job, that she got that pension. Gotta look out for the future now.
No, no, for sure, for sure.
Smart. No, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Oh, this is so interesting. This is really, it's the psychology of us right now.
Yeah.
be like be like, girl, I have my own job, but you got that government money and that government insurance
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
pension, and
Yep.
let me get that.
Yes. Yes.
And the connection with Ron, who probably makes really good steaks. Just saying.
Yes. Or any woodworking. Oh my god, all the custom furniture I could get. Shoot.
That's
Yeah.
neat. Yeah. There's so much authenticity in the sharing. Like everyone is dynamic. The things that they do, the connections that
Mm.
they have. Most authentic
Mhm.
people are drawn to each other. Yes. Mm.
Have you decided on your second waifu, Liz, or are you still deciding?
I think yeah. Okay. So this is another anime that I watched a while ago. For my husbandos and waifus, like I said, I only chose anime characters because I'm in my watch anime era, so that's all I could think about. So this next one is, I don't know what the English name for this show is, but the Japanese is Hanasakeru Seishonen. I think it's what it's called. And it's this really sort of like convoluted, amazing story about politics and relationships and like life difficulties in like all areas, like not only like poor people but like the mega rich. It's just this fascinating, and like also like the politics of like at this whole country that's sort of like coming up, and hidden secrets of like family members and
Mhm.
somebody planning in the scenes. The villain of this thing is just so smart, and I love it when the villains are so intelligent, because you don't see stuff coming until like the big reveal, and you're like, what? So I love that. So this girl is just so, man, she is, I think she's like 16 or something in the show by the end of it.
You and your
Anyway,
youngins.
so at the end of it, she will grow up eventually. She will grow up to be an adult. So
She's
I'm
got
just,
potential, huh?
yeah, she's got potential to
Potential.
be a good waifu once she turns 18. All I'm saying. All right.
Mm.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she is the daughter of this like super rich guy, like from the US, like I'm talking about like mega billionaire. You know, but she grew up for her sort of like protection in this like remote island in the middle of nowhere that dad owns because he's that rich. And so she's very sort of like grounded, like she doesn't really care about like all the money that her like dad has. She's like, I can make my own way. Like, you know, it's nice that, you know, that I get to travel and do all these things, but if I didn't have all those things, I'll still be cool. Like, I'll still be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not adding or taking away anything from my life. And because she kind of grew up around a bunch of other adults, she never really had like same age friendships, except for
Hmm.
this one guy she ends up with, and the relationship is kind of adorable, but he's kind of dumb a little bit in terms of like anyway. Point being, it's a
Yum.
really great story, but like her as a character is just like she's very strong, she's opinionated, like she's a little bit like tomboyish in a way, again because she doesn't really care about, you know, what it is to be like feminine and whatnot. Like she can go both ways, like she can rock both parts really well. She's highly intelligent, she knows where she stands, and she is very much like a go-getter. Like if she wants something, she'll go after it, whether it's sort of like helping someone out that, you know, everyone's like telling her like for her safety to like not, but she's like, if I don't, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life, and I'll rather like, you know, like kind of like die but not regret it, because, you know, she values like the people that she's formed these deep relationships with. And and also like does the same thing when she like realizes that she's in love with, you know, childhood friend, and childhood friend is like pushing her away for some weird political rich people reason. um she's all like, I don't give a crap about anything, I'm just gonna be with you. And she like relentlessly like pursues him, and she's all like, I don't care, like you have to be with me because we both love each other, so like everything else like we can sort of
Okay,
like
so he does love her
through.
though.
He does love
Okay.
her. Yep, but again, like he
I was
kind of
I was about to say that's kind of
no, no,
stalkerish.
no. And this is like, this is once she realizes that they're both like in love with each other, that
Okay,
she
okay, that
pursues
sounds a
him.
lot better now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so she is just a very strong independent person that, you know, also needs to be saved every now and then. So like the, you know, the person she ends up with is very much the, I'll let you do, you know, whatever you need to do, and whenever you need help I'll be there. So again, I just kind of chose someone that I was like, not for this specific character, I wasn't necessarily like she's like me for real, because she's a lot more social that I tend to be, and a lot more comfortable in this sort of like situation. But I do want to be like her. That's kind of why I kind of like chose her, because again, she's very comfortable and authentic just in any setting, whether, you know, she's hanging out with like a friend in Japan who like knows nothing of like all the conflict and things that she's going on in her rich people
Mhm.
world kind of thing. um but she's also very comfortable in the rich people world as well, and she's filthy rich, so you know, but that helps. I mean, when she's an adult.
She can fund your nonprofit.
Oh, for reals. When she's an adult.
I mean, she can contribute now, just saying.
Yeah, we're friends now. We're just hanging out. Um, yeah. So that's kind of why I like chose her.
Okay, okay. And
She's
what's your overall rating?
I'm gonna say like a 9 as well. Not that she has any sort of like red flags per se. But she's still, there's a lot of, she sees a lot of things in sort of like black and white.
Okay.
And that's part of what allows her to sort of like do all these things like to the best of her ability, and like, you know, be very driven to get what she wants. But at the same time, like in real life, a lot of those things wouldn't be possible, you know. And they are only possible because she's filthy rich. So even though she like doesn't really care about the material things, uh, you know, there might still be an element of like she doesn't fully understand how the world works. So,
Right.
you know, there's room for growth there.
Fair enough. And that could come with time and age and
Hmm.
growth. So,
Experience, yeah, yeah. I will help her. She'll be okay.
You'll be her Sherpa.
Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot her to say her name. Her name is Kachika. That's yeah.
All right, I'm gonna so people need to buy merch so we can buy Liz a teleprompter and and not to like give her her
Listen,
lines,
I
but
have
like
my notes. Otherwise, I would totally have forgotten to say what the name of the place was or the animal was, and like probably her name as well.
oh, we need to get you like something better than just like a notepad. Like have something like bright so like when it comes up to that like talking point, it'll like flash at you. You'll be like, oh, okay.
Listen, I just need someone to be like off screen whispering to me, remember to say this. That's kind of what I need. So please head out to your Patreon and buy lots of merch. Like I said in the previous video, it is now in my head primarily only a competition to see who sells more merch.
For
So
some
please buy
reason.
all the Dr. Gremlin merch. And if give away to friends. Uh,
I love
Christmas is
this.
coming up. Birthdays. It doesn't matter. Special events. That's a great gift, and it's so cute. Like you just
It is very cute.
get you
Yeah.
one, or just give us money. That's cool too. Please,
Yeah.
we need it. I need a personal assistant to manage my life.
It gets paid more than high fives.
All right. Anyway, Boone.
Wait,
What
I
life
want to
from your
comment on your partner. Wait.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think it's interesting that you chose two people who were very independent, where you don't value that much like time together. It's more about like really the independence is the most important thing for you. Just leave me be. When it's
Mm.
time to have personal time together, we can, but really do your own thing. Like you really like that space to just be
Yes, because I
you.
have things I need to do. Like I legitly, like I told you guys earlier, like off screen, I was talking to my therapist and we had a conversation, and something that came up is like I came to the realization a while ago, but I had just never voiced it before, that I think like I'm okay like being in a long distance relationship, or like being in a relationship where like we don't necessarily have to share the same room, because I'm like sometimes I just don't need you there, or like I want to stay up until like 3 a.m, and like if I always have to be mindful of someone else that's there, I'm like
Hmm.
it's just really gonna cut into my me time, and I just don't tend to have a lot of that 'cause I'm so busy doing stuff.
I mean, I
But I
get that, but I work opposite shifts, so it's all good.
well, see, there you go. And I don't think I would necessarily like to work opposite shift, because then that will make it extra hard to like meet. But when I do, I think this is
The
how
weekends are for.
no, this is how you know that I really care about you, is when I make time for you. Because if I don't make time for you, then you're kind of more of an acquaintance.
Mm.
Like, but if you're like really like a good friend, and like value you, I will make time like to meet with you, and like months in advance, and I'll be super excited to be there. But again, like, to keep my friendship, or like my love
Yet
in
we
general, like
still
we don't
haven't
have to
set
be
a date
together
for the work retreat.
24/7. Hey, that's because we're broke. That has nothing to do with wanting to
Yeah,
hang
that
out.
no, can't do that. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I was like, I've been telling you, like, we need to do like a spot at home where we have like face masks and we're doing our nails virtually, because that's all we can afford now. So if you guys will be interested in watching a video of us interact in real life for like the first time ever, please give us your money so we can make it happen.
Dude, I'm gonna be so quiet. I'll be just sitting there watching you both. Is that what people
No,
want to see?
eventually. No, because I love
No,
hearing
we'll
you
just be like
talk.
dogpile
But
on
I'm not
booty.
going to. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna be overstimulated by the sensory stuff happening. I might
No.
get upset because of things. So, side story, one time for a Comic Con or some convention, I went. The hotel, there was a drop of water the whole night. I could not sleep the entire night because of the one drop of water. So, like, I hear things other people don't hear sometimes.
Mm,
Josh was there. He's like, I don't hear it, even though his sense of hearing is very powerful. He can hear things, but I
mm.
heard it like it was just echoing. And I was like freaking out. and then like the bed sheets were like not soft. It felt like cutting my skin. It felt like little knives. That's how powerful the sensory stuff was. And like I was just like crying. I was just like so irritated. And so just letting you know, I might be a special snowflake and I will complain about things that no one else might be feeling. And I don't want that to
No,
happen.
no, no,
So
no,
I'm just
no.
worried.
Why are
Bring
you
your own
worried?
sheets. Like, who cares?
Oh, okay, I could do that.
Yeah, and like you're like, oh, let me just rant about this thing, and I'm like, yes, because like I think like ADHD, autism sort of like go very much together because you're like, well, I want to talk about my special interest, and I'm like, and I want to hear about it. Like, tell me about it. 'Cause
That,
it's so
I'm just in
interesting
the
to me.
and I'm like a background dancer with my Tourette's.
Yeah, like we just like the perfect, like all together we form the perfect person.
Damn.
All of our skills combined will
Your
be
info
great.
dumping, your listening, and my physicality. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story is we're all perfect when we're together. Alone, we can't function properly, and we need
We're
an
like the
assistant.
Megazord.
I was gonna say like Megazord or Voltron, like, you know. Oh my god. So I like it's funny that you say that because one of the things I always do at work, like if something's like wrong, I'm like I Zordon, and everyone's like and everyone's like, what the hell, Hope? Who's Zordon? And I'm like, I'm out.
It was so stupid. Ay, 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 ay.
I know, but that's like the thing I do. I was like, I'm Alpha 5 and I'm freaking out. Okay, Zordon.
I can't breathe.
Drunk pony, yes.
They definitely did not stand the test of time.
Why do they do that with these characters? The voice, the intonation, it just always bothers me. These certain characters. What's his name from Star Wars?
Which one's from Star Wars?
the one that's like looks like a little dinosaur.
Oh,
Yoda?
Yoda?
Not Yoda. The newer ones. The
Maybe Yoda?
no. The prequels. The
Which
Jar
one?
Jar Binks.
Oh,
Oh God.
Yeah. Those are annoying. Like I don't know why they just people got
You and the whole
okayed.
fandom.
All these things got okayed. Like we're just gonna do annoying ass sound effects for a voice. It's a
It was
caricature.
the thing is they were reaching out to a younger audience
I hate it.
by talking down to them and not
Yeah,
talking
I hate it.
with them. But whatever.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about that right now. What we're
Oh,
No.
talking
wait.
about is Boonies waifu.
Yes.
My last one or second one. I didn't really have. I don't know. I just not thinking about waifus, and I'm sure there could be others that would have been a better choice because this is so similar to Masakin. I picked Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Dude, I had a feeling because I know your love of Attack on Titan, so like
Yep,
I kind of had a feeling.
I love it, and I guess again you're gonna see a lens of my world. I do again think that the times are very dystopic. Everything is about
Let's
chaos.
let's plan a trip to the German town that Attack on Titan is based on.
It's so pretty, very pretty,
Let's do it.
gorgeous.
I'm like, German bread is supposed to be delicious, so I am down. I haven't
Dude,
seen
there's a
Attack on
German
Titan.
restaurant near me and I love their food. It's so freaking good.
Could do bratwurst,
Why
all
do
the
you have to
sausages.
show? Why do you have to show up like that? Like you're like, oh, I have
Mm.
so much good food around me when I live in the middle of nowhere, and their Mexican food is just kind of okay.
Oh, that's sad.
Just ask your
No.
mom for food. God damn.
She's in Mexico,
Oh,
Well,
But other when she's here, I'm living the life, you guys.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I'm
living
saying.
the
When
life.
when she's there, then you're eating good.
Yeah, yes. And when she's not, I'm just eating healthy, like salads, which are still tasty, very yummy,
Mm.
but not
You,
Mexican
you
food.
got so upset. You're like, just salads. Anyways,
Salads can be
Mikasa.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell
Um,
us because I don't know anything about this.
really? So, background story.
Mm.
There's this world now where it's run by titans. Titans are huge, gigantic creatures. They look like deformed humans, and
Okay.
they eat humans. So I can't tell you a lot because it's like so many good arcs. Oh, it's like the
Oh,
best.
and there's levels too. There's so
Yes,
many
a lot
levels.
to think about here. And so, my favorite anime of all time right now. So because of that, they have to have an army, a lot of military to defend themselves. There's something about this walled encased civilization where they believe that they're the last humans on Earth ever. So they're trying to preserve the human race. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because of this, there's walls and barriers and 3 tiers. And then in the middle is like the kingdom. So the bravest people sign up to be part of the core, and they have to have on these like apparatuses where they can fly with blades and fight and kill the titans. Because if they break the wall, humanity has no future, right? And so um, she is one of the strongest and most talented in the Survey Corps. She's probably as strong as like 10 people combined. She's
Oh
quick.
yeah, dude,
She's
she's
yeah, she's a
Is,
amazing.
beast.
is she the one that eats the potato?
No, that's not Potato
No,
Girl.
that's not Potato
No.
Girl,
That's
but
not
Potato Girl's good
Potato
too.
Girl. That's not
Yeah,
Sasha.
yeah,
Oh,
Sasha's great. Oh, you know Potato Girl?
because it's a meme.
It's a good meme. So, like, in
I'm
this
gonna-
world, there's a class struggle too because
Oh,
the
she's so
wealthy
cute. Sorry, I just googled her and I'm like, oh, she's so adorable.
Potato Girl?
No, 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 Mikasa.
Oh, yeah.
Mikasa.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gorgeous. So she's okay, and in this world too, there's not many Japanese people have had Japanese descent. They were like wiped out or something. So she is, and so she's like had to like hide that in the beginning. So
Mm.
um Aaron saves her when they were children. So she's like devoted to him because they were going to traffic her. They were going to like, they found out that she was half Japanese or half Asian of some sort. And then these terrible people were trying to kidnap her and enslave her or something. And so
Mhm.
Aaron came and like tried to fight for her. And then she ended up protecting him. So it's like back and forth protecting each other. So he gives her this red scarf that she wears forever. So since childhood, till they grow
Mm.
up, she's always wearing the red scarf. And so like she's super sentimental and like some like bonded. Like you know how you go adopt pets, bonded animals. Like she's super bonded to him and she will do anything to be at his side forever and a day, right? And so she just quietly listens to him, like trusts his guidance and just like believes in him so much no matter what he does. And she does have like great abs. She has a muscle mommy. She like underneath all these clothes, like you could see her abs when she's like working out and doing sit-ups. I'm like, holy shit. You know, she's very strong. And there's these clips of her lifting more than other people, even though she's petite. And so like there's this powerful
Oh,
aspect
yeah,
of
you can
her.
see them.
Yeah. She's super strong. And she's capable, quick thinking, and she's able to also, because of this world where there's abuse of authority, um what is it, what's the term, kingdoms, like what's the
Oh,
term,
there's an not all. Why am I thinking
oligarchy,
oligarchy?
is it?
Is it oligarchy?
I'm just going to say that people can correct me.
Yeah.
Actually, no. So like there's the theme of that, right? People having the throne and just unquestioned allegiance to them when there's this potential coups and people saying, "Hey, we don't know if this power is rightfully yours." And so I like that she's able to question all of these layers because I think it's important to not just accept someone in a position of authority, someone in power. You're able to, she's like just in the lens of like describing certain people, you would
Mhm.
want to have someone on your side who's also strong, but also able to challenge authority because it's a right way to live. You don't want to be a bot. You don't want to be someone who's just like a cog in the machine. And so there's this one, I don't know how many scenes later, like episodes later, there's many potential important decisions to make, and the person in authority has the call, but she understands that it's not the best call, so she's willing to put her life on the line and actually fight to the death to show that person in authority that it's not the right call. And so that's something that I have done in the past too. I've done it multiple times in working with mental health, different layers of it, education, stand up and say things that aren't right, so at least you can know that you can walk away trying to help what you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just the extreme version of like, I'm willing to cut a throat because I don't believe it. Yeah. And so she earns that respect too of putting in the work to going that extreme and that far to excel and be that person that she deems as the protector of Aaron. Which made me sad sometimes because like he was mean, like ignored her love. Anyways,
Yeah.
so like
We're not talking about him.
I just think that again, in my lens of the world as being so dystopic and realistically it's not a great place to live sometimes, I would want her in my corner because I know that she would, one, fight for what's right. She understands the logistics of the reality of this world, that it's not idealism. We have to fight to survive. We're going to steal to eat food. We're going to fight when we have to. Sometimes we might have to kill someone, and in end of the day, it's for the greater cause too. So she's willing to make a really important decision for the greater good that, it's heartbreaking. So like watching her character arc is about questioning her loyalty to things too. And I love that about her. She's like uses that what do you call it? The nostalgia and the sentimentality, it helps grow her and catapult her in a certain direction. But there's some things you have to do in life to realize, what is the reality of the domino effect of all the things that I've done, and what is the best decision for right now, not based on my sentimentality or my emotions. So she has this balance as well because she uses her heart and her passion to fight for her loved ones. At the same time, she understands the bigger picture of like, this is like the fate of the world is at my hands. What do I do about this? So I love that. And so realistically, in dystopic situation, 10 out of 10. I'd want her in my corner because she's super loyal. Um, in this world, I'm going to say again, maybe 7 out of 10 because I don't want her to start lashing out and cut people's necks, like just because someone wronged me or bumped into me, and she's like, "Oh, God, I got to protect my boonie," like, yeah, it's
Well,
like
but
chill, relax.
but if you like, if you kind of sort of like take into account, you're only looking at sort of like her like characteristics in terms of just like her being like a person and what makes up the person, like her as a person, like, and you place them into this world, like, so she wouldn't necessarily like, cut people's throats or whatever. Like, what would you give her then? Like, where she's just kind of, she is like another normal person living here, but with those same attributes, same characteristics.
She only
Ooh.
punches, not cuts.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Actually, so if she were just paced in the real world, I think she's a lot like me, which is something interesting for us to talk about because I think when you're pushed to the extreme and there is no other option, you either grow and survive or you don't, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I think I was thinking about this yesterday. She reflects aspects of my shadow a lot, the things that I know I'm capable of, but I may not be able to realistically embrace or be honest about my ability to do these things. And I think that's
So would
what
you say that she's kind of like somebody you wish you could be?
sometimes, yeah, which relates to like being a
Same as
spy.
me.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
like because I'm not going to judge people. We can judge their actions based on like
Right.
ability for choice and consequence, but at the same time, in the world and the situation that some people are in, I really cannot judge people, which is a big thing. I think sometimes we're so judgmental that we would say things like, I would never do that, even in that situation. Like, man, it's bullshit. You would never
You don't
know.
know.
You would
Yeah.
never know. And the context is always these variables that shape how people come to be. And I think that's why we don't have compassion for a lot of people sometimes, like people who don't have compassion, people who are like, again, the shadow. You're not willing to embrace it, so you project that onto somebody else. Like, I don't think
Right.
I'd ever do that. I'm morally superior. And so, like, I'm not morally superior. I know that I would probably, if I were able to, like, not be a coward or a victim, I would fight. So she, like, for me, how I see her is she won archetypally. She overcame her victim and she learned to fight, early on as a child, and she learned to master fighting so much that in this world the rules are different. In any other context, any other different world, the rules would be different, right? And so I
Mhm.
think that's like in my head, hypothesizing a possibility that I could be like her too. Yeah.
So what did you give her then? Score.
Uh, for which one? Which?
She
IRL.
said 10 out of 10 and then 7 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because so
Gosh, listen,
if she
Liz.
weren't forced to face her victim and fight, and she just was living a more casual life, I think she'd be a little bit more mousy. Because in the beginning, you could see that she would be crying. She's like a little not sure what to do. She's hesitant to act until she learns to fight for somebody else. So if that
Mhm.
situation were never introduced, she'd probably be more passive in life.
Wait, uh, is she like in love with what's his face, or is it just kind of like this is loyalty because you saved me when I was a kid?
I don't know. I'm not telling you.
No, no, it's because like so I was
Watch
thinking of
it.
like a potential sort of like red flag because if she is like in love with him, then like maybe boundaries for her wouldn't like she wouldn't really it doesn't sound like she would have any boundaries for
Right.
herself
So
because it's all about
that's
him.
actually a good point. She
Mm,
doesn't have any other
mhm.
object in life, no autonomy. And actually he brings that up. If you watch it,
Yeah.
he starts pointing that out in her. It's like, you need to do something for yourself. And I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. It's like, you have to watch it.
No, no,
I was
okay,
about to say, I just
but
said
is there
watch it, and then you're
character
like, explain.
growth?
Huh?
There is
Is there?
character growth,
Oh, okay,
yes.
well then, yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, so
Yes.
the potential is there, right,
Mm-hmm.
for her to
Yes.
be an amazing
Mhm.
waifu. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha, gotcha. All right, cool, cool. Hope.
All right, so I'm going to end this round robin of waifus with, oh, I love her so much. It's from this anime, Demon Slayer,
Ooh.
Oh,
I already
yes.
know. I already know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's going to be Mitsuri Kanroji, who is the love Hashira.
Nice.
And I freaking adore this woman on every level possible. So,
Wait, before you go on, I haven't seen like the latest season, so if you could like not spoil.
But have you seen her like main episode?
Yes, yes, I've seen that one.
Okay.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
fine. You're
okay,
fine.
okay, okay, okay.
So a lot about her again, like always tragic backstories. She was always like a very strong girl. And back then, Japanese women are supposed to be very petite and meek and just
Mm.
but she's like, nah, I'm like an ox. I'll plow
Yeah.
these fields, I'll do this, I'll take care of that. And then like the foodie in me loves her because she can put down some food and we would
Mm-hmm.
have some great ass meals, okay? Like
Nice.
so like I'm very physical, she's very physical. We both love food. But what I love about her, yes, she is strong and she is very loyal. She will fight. She has a great sense of justice. Like that's why she's a Hashira, because she's against the demons who like oppose everything that's going against humanity. But she's like one of the first Hashira though that looks at Nezuko and she's like, "Oh, but she's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
how
yeah.
could she be
Yes.
more than just like a little demon? It's fine." And there's like this one where they're in the swords the the sword maker village
Mm.
and she's like literally playing with Nezuko like a little cat
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "Oh, this is my little sister, so kawaii." And
Cute.
it's just like she's just like, "Oh, who cares if she's a demon?" Cuz
Mm-hmm.
she just loves, that's what she does. She's the love Hashira,
Mm.
she gives that unconditional love, whether it's to it's to everybody, even like the random people off the street. She's like, "Oh, you're so sweet. I love you. Here's all my money, or here's all my love. And they're just like, I only said hi, you know.
Mm.
And- but she's just so compassionate for so many people, and but she got that strength because she did have a great and loving family. You know, she didn't have a tragic story where like the parents died and like everyone was killed off, or like she was tortured. No, like I think her biggest thing was that because she was different, like her parents embraced that she was different, but she wanted love and she couldn't get love outside of her family because she was different, you know, and she tried to change herself to get like a husband, but then like she was like,
Men are
no,
weak.
if you, she was like, no, like if you can't love me for who I truly am, then screw you, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I like about that is it shows that she's willing to compromise and adapt, but it's also showing that she's not willing to give up who she is, which I think is very powerful. You need to have a good basis of both. Like, yes, you need to be who you are through and through, but also like, you know, you got to give a little. You know, not everything is perfect and can go your way. So it shows that she can do that compromise, you know, and it's that's a fantastic basis for any type of relationship. And also like, dude, she has the whip sword. She could kill anybody for me. She is the best. Like, I'm very good and I've like have background training, but goddamn, she girl, you have at it. I will watch you. I will massage your legs and feet when you're done. Like, I got you, girl. I will have fun watching you. Mm,
No, I was
mm.
when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, and don't forget to mention her attacks are so cute.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I
And
love
also,
it.
we will both have a shared back pain from our bustiness,
Assets
from our plots,
or
from our the
strengths.
plots, the plot of the story. We have back issues from our plots. Uh, so we can just, you know, help hold each other and support each other in more ways than one.
Just picturing you hugging each other, like there's gonna.
Well, it's like, oh shit, I'll shift one, she'll shift the other, just like pillows for days, pillows for days.
Yeah, yeah, love it.
I, I think she would be sort of like actually like a great waifu for you because she brings a lot of the characteristics that you sometimes sort of like forget about. Like,
Mhm.
because she is so loving, she would be there to
And
constantly remind you to
exactly.
freaking take a nap or do self-care,
Yep.
in
Yeah.
case you forget.
And I will be the first to admit, like, I do have a lot of like self-doubt and self issues, and like I do have depression that I'm on medication for, and she'd be like, smack, I love you, damn it, and then just like love me. And sometimes I just need that. I just need to know that I'm
Yeah.
loved and snuggled in between some boobies. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
that's why like 10 out she's my 10 out of 10,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
hands down 10 out of 10, my girl. Oh, love her.
And like Bunny was saying, like she would be sort of like the pink to your black
Mhm.
ensemble
Mhm.
like, clothes. So yeah,
Yes.
perfect pair. Yeah, that would be awesome.
So yeah, that's my girl. I love her.
Aw, I
I
approve.
agree.
Jinx.
Yeah.
I feel like the three of us got like so much more involved with our waifus than our husbandos. And like I feel like we all like lit up more. I feel kind of like
Well, for me, it was a lot of just she's like me for real, or like I want to be like them. Like there's characteristics like I really admire and I want to be like them. And even though for the husbandos, there were some things that I was like, oh, I would like to do that, or like, like I admire that about them. Because in my head I was already thinking about them as husbandos. That relation, there was a bit of a distance in that relationship in my head because he's a partner, but
Mm.
the waifus, they are me,
Mm.
right? So I don't, again, I don't think I really chose waifus. I chose more like she's
But
just really awesome and I love her, and she would
but
be a
you
good
like
waifu.
someone similar to yourself because you would have the same values and like the independence. So
No, yeah, but like just when I chose them, or like the reasons why I like them, it's more a bit more personal for me than it was for the husbandos. For the husbandos, I was just thinking, oh, I think we would work well together, or like we'll be great partners. For the waifus, I was like, I love them so much because I want to be just like them, like it was more like a hero worship on my on my side. So yeah, for me, I guess the decisions were a bit more personal, yeah, in that sense.
and that's all good, man.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think
Yeah, such a good conversation, you guys.
yeah, I was gonna say I think like there's not gonna be too much more conversation. It's just gonna be more like more gushing. I feel. So like,
But it's one of the things, because for anyone watching this video for the first time, or is anyone like me who's only half paying attention to when people talk, I don't it's my ADHD brain. I don't do it on purpose, okay, sorry. But in case you forgot, I'm a therapist, and when I do therapy, I try to incorporate geek culture into the session for lots of different reasons, and
and
also
she
because it's
does pay
very fun.
attention to her patients. It's
I
just me
do,
she
I
doesn't
do.
care about.
It's just, uh, I'm just not getting paid for this. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Wait. No, stop distracting me. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Uh-huh.
um, oh yeah, this is why I love incorporating geek culture into my therapy sessions so much, because it makes it a lot easier for us to be like, hey, this is like a waifu or husbando, and then we can talk about like very important topics, right? But
Yes.
it's almost in a very much like, this is for funsies, because these characters are not real, but we can still have real conversations about it, right? So it makes it a
And
little
I
bit
love that.
easier to have those conversations, especially if you're someone who has never been to therapy before, and you're kind of like uncomfortable, with the whole, let me just share my life or like spill my guts, in front of this person I don't know. um and yeah, again, very very fun, and it's a way for you to also keep it in mind, because if you will identify with this character so much, then I'm hoping that whenever we have discussions, or whenever you go back to watch them, you remember these things, right? So then you'll continue applying the things that we talked about and discussed in session outside of it, and into sort of like your every aspect of your life. um yeah, so I think that was it. That's what I wanted to say.
No, but that's it's good to bring up, and like like we had this like fun little conversation, today with husbandos and the last episode on waifus today, and it's it might seem like funny and like not really mental health related, but it really comes down to it. It really is. It's like what we treasure and value
Hmm.
in our lives. You could have like the funny like husbandos, like, oh, he's just really sexy and ha ha ha. But like if
Hmm.
you're like really breaking it down like we did, it shows like what your true core values are. Like maybe I'm not gonna find a Mitsuri Kanroji like in real life, but I could maybe find someone with those like similar aspects and traits for
Hmm.
a future partner, and it's an easier way to like set realistic boundaries and like goals to attain, like because no one's gonna find someone with a whip sword who's gonna kill demons, like come on, okay, but like you can find someone who's truly like loving and accepting of you and will support you and also protect you, so there's all these different like things you can bring into it, and it really it shows what your true core values are and what you want into the world as well, so
Well, I think uh yes, to second that, like one of the things that I always talk about in therapy is that um if you don't have an idea of where you're going or what you're looking for, it's going to be very easy for you to get dragged around,
Mm.
because you're going to end up potentially meeting someone who, yes, they have a couple of like green flags in there, but a massive red one that you're
mhm.
kind of like sort of like ignore, because but they treat me well every now and then, right? And then so that's kind of like how we lead ourselves to believe that, oh, I can change them, or they're good to me sometimes, so that means they have the potential to always be good to me. But like that's not always true, right? So if you want to avoid sort of like having those type of, not only like in relationships but also like friendships or like with
Yes.
siblings or whatever, like your own future goals, if you don't really have any idea of what you want out of this life, at least like a semi sort of like idea of like, I want to be able to work in politics, or
Yeah.
become a doctor, like that gives you kind of like a compass, like a way for you to head in your life. Otherwise it's gonna, for a lot of people, what happens is like, well, I just didn't know what to choose or what to do, so I just did nothing, right? Or like I
Hmm.
settled for this
Yeah.
because I just didn't know, or you know uh didn't fully like understand yet that there were like other options available to me at that time. And but when you have a goal of doing something, you will find a way,
Hmm.
or you will find the waifu or husbando that is a really good match for you, and they treat you really well, and it becomes a very healthy sort of like
Mm.
relationship because you knew what you were looking for. So yeah, this is actually a good exercise for you to do, and reflect on um, your own ideas or goals of being in a relationship, and whether or not they're realistic, um, or if they're potentially toxic. you know
Yes. Yes, very much so. So that means as much as you love Loki, no Loki. Uh,
No, excuse me. No, I have a whole video as to what I talk about Loki's healing journey, and Loki at the end of season 2 Loki series is perfect husbando material, okay? Like, no, don't come at me like with that. And also, I'm only talking about Loki in the MCU because Loki in the comics and Loki in the Norse mythology completely different Loki. So, I'm not talking about those.
yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, just so you know.
Fair.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Husbando material for sure.
Oh.
When he grows up and like overcomes all his trauma and abandonment issues and stuff. Once he goes to therapy, see, like essentially he went to therapy. Mobius gave him therapy. Wait. Like, stop distracting me. This is about waifus. I should not be talking about a husbando.
Anyway, Boone, do you have any last comments to distract Liz before we?
Yeah, last
Yeah.
two things. Liz, please make a worksheet so we can link it to the video description about healthy relationships and what to look for. That's number
Oh,
one. Second,
cool.
I know both of you are talking about relational stuff in terms of like ideal partners. I do want to throw in the individual because what the theme that I picked up is sometimes the aspirational is what we're looking for, and we don't make that connection of like, this is actually who I can be too. I don't need it
Yes.
from a partner. So, like, I want people to also hold that thought as a possibility. Is like, just because you're looking for it in somebody else, maybe it's something that you can cultivate within yourself too, where then it
Mm-hmm,
might not be a
mm-hmm,
trait that you need to find in somebody else. So that could be
mm-hmm.
something to look for as well.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure,
that.
for
I
sure.
love
I mean,
that.
just as you, because a lot of the waifus and husbandos, I said, like, they have the building blocks of potentially becoming a great husbando or whatever, once they're older, or live it out in the real world. Same thing sort of like applies to us. Like, if we are looking for someone who is sort of like constantly working on themselves and doing these things, we also need to do that. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
also need to like work on your own self-improvement
Yes.
and getting comfortable, like stepping out of your comfort zone and stuff, because otherwise the husbando will pass you by, and
Yep.
you know you will be too shy to look them in the eyes and say what's up.
Whoa. That's how you do it.
That's all I need to say. I should say what's up.
And there you go, have it, folks. Key flirting techniques from Liz. Just what's up?
and and the episode and the episode
So this is
before I say something else that I'm cut it from the
so,
thing.
So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us for sure if you want more of these amazing videos and more of these amazing ladies that I work with. If you also want to support us, please check out the merch store. We have great merch, as Liz was saying that she wants to beat us at a competition. I don't know. It's weird. It all goes to the same place.
I need
It
to
all goes
win. Yeah,
it all
yeah,
goes to
sure.
the collective, whatever. Uh whatever makes her feel better. But also, just, self-reflect, self-love.
Mm.
And yeah, I've been your Sherpa into the mind brain, and these ladies have shown us what their waifus are made of. So
Tell
with
us
that,
about your waifus in the comments. Um,
are
yeah.
there any waifus we missed or that
Yes.
you think we would have better options with? Give us some ideas of who we should
Mm-hmm.
be with. But yeah, other than that, I think this will wrap it before Liz says something else apparently. And
Yes.
have have a good night,
Thank you.
guys, and love your waifus.
Bye.
Bye.